Move it, move it, move it. Get off the ground. Come on, Titans, hit somebody. Woo! You gotta love Titan football.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome out to Columbia. We are at Rockbridge High School as the Lee Summit West Titans take it on the Columbia Rockbridge Bruins tonight. Should be a very interesting game. Will be kind of interesting to see which two teams show up from this. A 3-0 Titans team against a 2-1 Bruins team. Now, on the other hand, Bruins, their only loss coming to De Smet, and that is no shame whatsoever. Certainly, De Smet, a very good team over on the St. Louis side, and the fact that they lost to them does not necessarily mean that the Titans aren't going to have their hands full tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, tonight is a big test for the Titans. Columbia Rockbridge is very talented. They've got 6 Division I football players here. I think this is the biggest test of the year.
It so certainly is so far. The Titans coming off a very good win over Blue Springs South last week, and but on the other hand, the last time they won on the road over to Fort O, it was not exactly a pretty picture. So we shall see what ends up happening tonight. He is Coach Royce Boehm. I'm Joel Becker, and the opening kickoff will come to the Titans when we come back. It is the Lee Summit West Titans and Rockbridge Bruins on Titan Football. Presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Welcome back out here to Wayne Sales Family Activity Field here in Columbia. Short little hour and a half drive or so from Lee Summit if you don't spend that half an hour at Shakespeare Pizza.
Oh, Mark, thank you very much. We tailgated in the parking lot this afternoon, a little Shakespeare's Pizza.
Now, did you notice, by the way, did they defer and we are taking the ball, or did we actually choose the ball? I thought we might have chosen the ball.
I think we did choose the ball.
Yeah, I think that's right as well. Sammy Cooper back along with Taylor Wilson to receive this kick, as Will Norris has the ball teed up on the 40-yard line for the Bruins. Not a whole lot of wind to speak of. Very different conditions weather-wise certainly tonight, as he will kick it to Cooper in the end zone, and the Titans will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20. And, that's, as a coach, that's got to be something that will be difficult for the team to adjust to, going from last week to this week in terms of the cooler conditions. There's a lot of wind, the rain, and now you're back into hot conditions and not a whole lot of wind, and, back to worrying about cramps and all that other stuff.
And Joel, sitting right next to you is Misha, the Misha Observer.
Yeah.
And so he's here to look at these officials, and usually when people are here like that,
lots of yellow.
Lots of yellow.
Coble from the shotgun has one man to his side, and on the zone read it is a give. Wilson trying to get around the corner. Oh, he looked like they might have gotten a little bit of a face mask at the very end. He was pulled out of bounds around the 22. Pickup of a couple and a half. 2nd down and 8. And yeah, there's a window between us. We can't actually hear anything he's saying or anything like that. But like you said, the officials always know when there's somebody watching them. And what are you worried about? Computer cord. What about the computer cord?
It's out. Unplugged.
Oh,
sorry.
It's plugged in. Delayed blitz. Coming from the inside linebacker position was Melvin Drayton, and he made the sack as Coble tried to get away from him, but last second he hung on to his jersey just long enough to keep him from getting anywhere.
He did. Down there, Deanne came off the edge.
So Cade Clemens is going to have to kick out of his own end zone. Not exactly what you want for your first drive. And he steps into one. Nice kick. It'll come down about the 48. Oh, big hit. As catching the ball, then immediately hit. And I believe that was Cahill who went down there and laid the lick on the return man. He did a good job of hanging onto the ball. And still pretty good position for the Bruins on their own 48 to start with.
Well, I'll tell you what, we need this defense really needs to swarm to the football. We're facing a very good running back here from Columbia Rockbridge.
We would seem likely to see a steady dose of Nathaniel Pete, who is to the left of Hadjasek. And he gets the call on the first down play, trying to adjust his route. Grauberger meets him at the line. Got up to midfield, and they're going to give him Titan 49. So on their first play from scrimmage, they get into Titan territory just by the nose of the football, but it'll be 2nd down and 8 as we're a little less than 2 minutes into the first quarter.
From where we're sitting, the DN right there, Cam Carswell, got held big time, but no flag was thrown.
I thought you said there's going to be a lot of flags
today.
today.
So, Joel, dadgummit.
Can't I work with a Hall of Famer? To the 45. They'll mark him out at the 46 and down and 4. Mark, couldn't you find me a football expert to work with?
You're killing me, Joel.
Well, you knew when you first said that we were going to see a lot of laundry today. We weren't going to see anything.
Man.
3rd down and 4. Still pretty early. We'll see what happens. And there is a give, trying to get around the corner, and he will get a first down. Hit and tackled Pete. Ball came loose. Titans say they have it. They do. I was, about to say just before it that, they looked like they were going for a strip a couple of times. Somebody got a hand on the ball, and he hung on to it, but then that hit, I think it might have been Wilson who laid it on him and then picked up the loop. So the first big break goes to the Titans here. Just underway, 2 minutes, 7 seconds into the first quarter of play. Still no score, as the Titans went 3 and out on their first drive and 3 and a fumble for the Rockbridge Bruins. They're coming out in a passing formation, but that doesn't mean they won't run out of it with an empty backfield if somebody goes in motion. Coble. Nope, they snap it to him, so he's back to throw. Throwing over the near side. That's Clemens. There's a little bit of hand fighting, but no flags either for that.
Yeah, it looked like Kate had a hard time coming off the football right there. Press coverage.
Pretty good job, actually, by the cornerback on that play. I think that was Saunders on the near side. And so 2nd and 10. Coble in the pistol this time, and he does have that H-back Carswell to the right. On 2nd and long, on the delayed give, Marcion Marshall. And he was able to fight his way forward, maybe to a half-a-yard gain, which was pretty impressive because he was hit about 2 yards shy of the first down and managed to get to the 35, which was the original line of scrimmage, but it's still going to set up a 3rd down and a short 10 or a long 9.
Our offensive line right now is getting whipped pretty good.
Well, that was, we talked about that last week, about how well they played against Blue Springs and Blue Springs South, I should say. And they're finding that this battle team's quite a bit of a different task.
Right. And I tell you what, Columbia Rockbridge is huge up front on that D-line.
They play a 3-man front usually with 4 linebackers and then 4 D-backs. That's standard formation. Somebody going off, I guess, for some sort of equipment issue. That was Logan Redding, and he is replaced. One thing I can say about Rockbridge is on the option, the toss to Marshall, stops and starts, and he's hit and tackled. You're not going to up and start like that on a swing, an option type pass. What I was going to say was that for the Rockbridge Bruins, a lot of players, more than we're used to, go both ways. They don't have the same kind of platoon system, but what we have learned in years past is if you're waiting for them to get tired, that ain't going to happen.
No, that's most definitely very well trained, especially when they have to go both ways.
Well, addition, Clemens standing at his own 21. And looks like 33-21 on opening week, and that was at Rockhurst. Then they lost at home to DeSmet 35-17, Battle 48-28 last week on the road at Battle here in Columbia. Hadjasek, and it will be a zone read, and he'll keep it himself, trying to go outside and gets forced out of bounds after a couple-yard gain. A couple of good plays already this game. 2nd down and 8 as Hadjasek trying to direct traffic. Play clock is down to 2-1. Boy, that looked like he went dead on the play clock, but they let him get it off. And Pete, with the run up the middle, he was hit as he got to the 35, got forward to maybe the 37. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it'll be 3rd down and about 4 from there. Was it just me, or did it seem like the play clock ran out about a beat and a half before they snapped the ball?
When you said 2 seconds, I looked out there, and there was 5 seconds.
Oh, it was 5, okay. I was looking through a mirror.
Okay.
So, sorry. Hadjasek throwing over the middle. Oh, it tipped and incomplete. Almost an opportunity for an interception from Wilson, but he couldn't make a break on the ball as it went right through the hand of the intended receiver. That was either Manuel or Sanders. It was Manuel. Quite a few of those. They must have a brother team out there. Is Marcus Manuel and I think Martez is the other one. Hamilton back standing at his own 24, so both teams are trading punts and turnovers at this point. Looks like it's Cooper standing back at his own 29. On 4th down and 4, Titans go after the ball. It's going to be a fake. Trying to roll around the outside. It's going to be close. It looked like snap. And they did give him enough for a 1st down. Caught the Titans coming after the football.
Yes, they did. Caught him off guard.
And not only that, they also picked the right direction because they were coming from the opposite side.
Right. They were.
So Rockbridge making their own breaks here on this drive, at least so far. Kind of a dangerous thing to do, although it shows they have a lot of confidence in their defense.
Sure, yeah.
Because
one right now,
yeah.
It's 2 good defenses going against each other.
Trips on the left, Twins on the right. Hadjasek with an empty backfield on 1st and 10 from the 42. Back to throw with time, throws over the middle, intercepted. It's picked off by Grauberger. He's hit and tackled at his own 48. But Jake Grauberger, made a good catch, too.
Well, I tell you what, you can tell he's a baseball player.
So 2 turnovers now for the Bruins team. And for the 2nd time, the Titans are going to get good field position. We'll see if they can do anything with it. They went 3 and out the last time they had position. Right about the same spot, actually.
It was.
Your insurance has been there. Birch delivers a promise for the future and protection from the unknown, dedicated to making sure you have the right coverage to fit your individual needs. Call Wayne at 816-525-5012. That's 816-525-5012. Wayne Birch of Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud supporter of Lee Athletics.
Welcome back out to Titan Stadium, or excuse me, this is not Titan Stadium. This is the Wayne Sales Family Activity Field in Rockbridge.
Mark, I thought you told me I was working with an expert here on the radio.
I think it was a pro is what he said, right? Lee Summit West and Rockbridge and the Bruins 7-0 here.
Oh, we're still in September, so we're still taking water breaks.
Yeah, they're doing their water timeout here before the kickoff. Tell you what, Mark, reach down there and grab the little FM, Power FM thingy. Was just trying to Wiley, trying to tee the ball up after the timeout, and right in the middle of the field. This will be his first kickoff, right into the end zone. That's something that Michael's been able to do with relatively strong regularity.
Well, I tell you, it almost looked like he kicked it way too high, but the ball carried very well.
So there is a little bit of a wind. And
I-70.
Yeah.
Was that crazy or what?
It was. You can always stop in Boonville, though.
Oh, man, you can't get enough of Boonville.
On play action throw over the middle, incomplete. Oh, a big hit at the end. And looking for a flag, but not getting one.
That was not smart.
No.
Not smart.
Fredrickson? Yeah. No, it was Cooper, wasn't it?
No, Fredrickson. Not smart.
Why would that be my first guess? That was,
man.
I think the Titans probably lucked out there.
Lucked out big time.
So it'll be another punting situation here for Rockbridge.
And you know why? That was helmet to helmet, too.
Well, and just such a late hit that it was totally unnecessary. Cooper standing back at his own 38. The snap bounces to the punter. This time they weren't coming after him. And it is a fair catch called for and made by Cooper at about the 44.
And the punter almost took a knee.
Would have been unfortunate for Rockbridge had that happened. So we'll see what the Titans can do here. After their first good offensive possession. 5:50, we're about halfway through the first quarter, a little past that. And the Titans come out in the shotgun formation with two backs in the backfield, and it'll be a give to Marshall. And Marcian goes left tackle and gets hit and tackled as he got across the line of scrimmage past the 45 to about the 46. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Tackled by number 80, Jalen Logan Reddy. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Sterling's not giving up on that run.
No. But got to do what you got to do.
Yes, sir.
On the quick snap, the toss sweep, Marshall, and he cut inside. As it turned out, there wasn't as much of a hole as I think he thought there was. Hit right at the line, no gain. It'll be 3rd and 8. A little bit of hand fighting at the end there, trying to yank the ball away.
Columbia Rockbridge did a nice job of stringing that out.
It was Logan Redding who was trying to yank it away from Marshall, who hung on to it. And it'll be 3rd and long. Passing situation here for the Titans. We'll see if they go to it. Haven't seen anything targeted to Cardell so far. He's on the far side. Cooper in motion. And they'll give it to Sammy, looking for the reverse. Clemens, he's going to throwing for Coble, wide open, make the catch on the far sideline down. A little razzle-dazzle for the Lee Summit West Titans. The reverse and then pass. Cade Clemens, who is the 3rd-string quarterback on this team, took from the 2nd-string quarterback, Sammy Cooper, and then Coble, nobody picked him up, was absolutely wide open. He didn't even have to be the 3rd-string quarterback, I don't think, to make that pass.
No.
Michael Wiley.
Dontari Wiley's kick is up, and it is good. So 4:25 left to go here in this first quarter of play, and the Titans strike again. They lead it 14-0. Kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football at President Beck Bros Productions and 810varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts from 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone.
Flinched, he didn't.
Right.
So, anyway, first down and 15 from the 15-yard line. Trips on the left, one on the right. Ajacek with Pete. It'll be 2nd down, and let's call it 16 as they gave him the 14-yard line. He's got a man. It is caught, and it's Cardell, far sideline, into the end zone. Touchdown.
Nice
Trevor
job.
Cardell, second straight, almost the identical play action, because ours is buffered. And certainly they really need to get some momentum going if they're going to stay in this game. Back, hit and tackled at the 39.
Next pass, complete to number 2, Nate D.
Pete with the catch, and though they are down in this game, and this was not the case really in getting a rush throwing on the near side and incomplete. As he was looking for Pete. Is that kind of a wheel route? I couldn't really tell. I think he was lined up on the outside.
I'm sorry. I got caught up in some of the fans here for trying to coach from the stands.
That never works real well. So like they were in 4-down territory. And we'll go for it here on 4th and 11.
Could be that quick.
You enjoy a network that gives you a strong signal with national coverage, even in the middle of anywhere.
Scoreboard doesn't indicate timeouts on it, but I'm pretty sure they have all 3 of theirs. Rockbridge, I mean. I only mentioned that in that if you were wondering if the Titans would just take a knee here or something like that. I don't think they can.
I'd like to see them drive it down, kick a field goal.
Let's see if they go to the air. They do. Coble back to throw it near side. Cardell incomplete. Not sure why he only reached up with that with one hand, but he did.
Kind of thrown over his head there.
Yeah, it was.
mean,
But
clearly.
it's not like he did, it's not like he didn't have he wasn't hearing footsteps or something like that. There was nobody around him. But minute 4 left to go. Pistol formation this time. Twins on either side. Cooper in motion. Throw. Steps up. Rolls now to the right side. Gaining some time for him. He will throw. He's got a man downfield, and it's incomplete. Looking for Goodall.
Intended for number 18, Cade Goodall.
And I don't know if it was flagged down.
Goodall was wide open and great coverage.
I said there was a flag down because that's what the PA guy said, but I don't see one. So it looks like it is just going to be 3rd and 10 from the 20. 52 seconds left to go.
Titans, 3rd down, 10 to go.
Same formation, Twins on either side. Pistol. And they will give it to Marshall, trying to get around the right side. And he's hit as he got across the 20 to about the 24. Now will I believe Rockbridge is going to burn a timeout here. The clock definitely stopped with 43.8 seconds left to go.
And others on the tackle. Brings up 4th timeout, Rockbridge.
Yeah, Rockbridge timeout, and it was their first of the half. So they'll have 2 left after this punt coming up here from Clemens with 43.8 seconds left to go.
And, we got the ball back with how much time?
About a minute and 5 or something like that. Well, I mean, 2 incomplete passes and a run.
Absolutely.
With a timeout. But like I said, because they had 3 timeouts, they knew that they weren't. I mean, if they had just run the ball 3 times, they would have just made them only had to punt. This way, at least they felt like they were giving themselves a chance to move the football, like you said, and add to their lead, which I think probably would have been a good thing if they could have done it. Although, sure, again, why we're not doing some more quick-hitting passes.
Yeah. Well,
That is to say, turning the passing game into a running game. So Clemens standing back at his own 8.
Cade Clemens on to punt for the Titans. Number 6, Javel Sanders.
Sanders is standing at about his own 39. And Clemens bounces it at the 40. Takes a Titan bounce, then rolls sideways and comes back. They're just letting it roll. And it does gain Rockbridge a couple of yards, but it also costs them a few seconds. So that's probably not a bad idea. I was thinking, well, that was my first thought in my head while I'm watching that is, why aren't you touching the ball?
Right.
Because it came back about 4 yards.
And the one thing they didn't pick the ball up. They touched it and left it on the ground. That's not smart. You got to make sure that ball's in your possession. Really happen.
Yeah, so the officials don't somehow not notice it or something like that. But no, but like I said, I wouldn't have ever touched it at all. If what you're trying to do is waste as much time as possible, make the officials just never touch it at all.
Right.
All right, so half a minute left to go in the first half. Now the good news that Rockbridge hasn't shown an especially good passing game. It's a delayed give, and Pete was able to break a tackle as he was hitting the backfield play by Wilson, but never able to get much going. And he'll be stopped for maybe a yard loss on the play as the Bruins will burn their second of 3 timeouts this quarter, this half.
Timeout, Rockbridge. Their second timeout of the half.
Leaving them 22.4 seconds. So that's what I was saying is that they haven't shown an especially strong passing game. So the good news is the Titans, can be relatively confident they're going to keep or they're not going to be effective.
Right.
And it's tough to do a whole lot in 22 seconds with 1 timeout.
And it looks like Vinny chose to go to his prevent defense.
Sent in his corner on a blitz.
Got Cade and Sammy both out there.
Playing a little center field.
Zumi plays, second down, 10 to go.
Along with Jerome Grace. Throw, Hajicek getting a rush. He'll throw near side, and it is. Did he keep a hold of it? No, incomplete. Intended. And I'm not sure even if he had managed to wrangle it in there. I think he might have stepped out of bounds before he would have had possession anyway. Down to 15.4 seconds left to go. 3rd and 10. Hajicek with trips on the left, one on the right. And now Pete moving back into the pistol behind him. Back to throw. And he is hit and knocked down as he got up to around the 48. And I believe they're going to just let the clock run out. And the Titans content to let them do that. We'll go to halftime 21-7 with the Titans on top. So an eventful first half. The Titans managed to get the 21-0 first quarter lead. Rockbridge did come back with the score in the second quarter, and we have played 2 quarters of football. 21-7. Now they call. Wait a minute. They're going to grant them a timeout here before the end. It looks like
they did. They put
0.3 seconds. Is it 3 or point? I think it's 0.3. No, they're putting 3 whole seconds on the clock. So it's 4th down and 4, although that pretty much is academic at this point.
4th down and 4 to go for the Bruins.
Titans obviously in a prevent, although their safeties are standing about the 35. Back to throw Hajicek. He's being chased by Minifield. He'll step up, heave one downfield. It's going to be short of the end zone anyway, and incomplete. Falls incomplete. The best chance to catch it probably came from the Titans' Jerome Grace.
Yes.
But did the smart thing and didn't catch it. So now we'll go to halftime, 21-7. Officially, they don't have any more timeouts. All right, so 21-7 our score at halftime. We'll take a break and come back with more after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Ackport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and A10Varsity.com.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now bring more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
When Lee Summit needs insurance, home, auto, or life, Wayne Birch of Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance has been there. Birch delivers a promise for the future and protection from the unknown, dedicated to making sure you have the right coverage to fit your individual needs.
Quick. He stopped drifting, found friends worth looking up to, and a young woman that was right admirable.
Deer Run Trail by David Lewis. Available as an e-audiobook at audible.com.
Oh, shoot. What's the matter, Pop? Your mother's off at Taekwondo practice, and she says she wants me to find a hobby by this summer.
Why not baseball, Dad?
Softball? I don't want to play softball.
Not softball, Dad. Baseball.
I don't even like softball,
Dad,
son, the way they
Dad,
just toss the ball
softball,
in there.
Dad.
You know, I used to be a catcher.
Dad.
In softball, I just feel like a backstop.
Dad.
What?
I'm not talking about softball. I'm talking about baseball, Dad. You know, hardball.
They have baseball for people my age?
Sure, Pop. The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League.
Well, now, I'm no spring chicken anymore, son. I don't want to play with all you young teenagers, you know.
I'm 35, Pop.
You are?
They have leagues for people both our ages. They have 18 and over, 28 and over, even 38 and over leagues.
I wonder if I still have my old
The
mitt.
Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League. 913-649-2942.
I think your mother used it while training those tigers.
Call them. They'll get you all signed up. 913-2942.
649-2942. Good. As soon as your mother gets home from bungee jumping, I'll tell her.
Oh, great, Pop. She'll be so happy.
Oh.
What?
Well, when she gets happy, she might take it out on me.
Oh, Dad.
All right, I got a message for you. Radio is the way to go if you want to advertise. Targeting your customers, any shape or size. Radio is a perfect way to tell them who and where you are. They listen at work, they listen at home, and you got them in that car. You got to go with radio when you want to advertise. Here we go. Watch me now. Hard rock and soft rock and easy listening too. Up and down the dialer formats just for you. Country, classic, talk, and gospel stations. Every market across the land has got a station for your situation. The cost is low, and radio is theater of the mind. You can present your nation if you want to get your message across. Get your message across the airways with radio. Call them, they will come right over. Remember, you got to go with radio when you want to advertise. There are lots of stations, just your...
We are at halftime here in Columbia, Rockbridge High School. It is the Wayne Sales Family Activity Field. Joel Becker and the Hall of Famer Royce Bame. As the Lee Summit West Titans on top right now of the Columbia Rockbridge Bruins, 21-7 is our halftime score. The Titans building up the 21-0 lead in the first quarter. After actually a very slow start, both teams were pretty much trading punts the first 4 or so possessions of the game, 4 or 5. And then the Titans suddenly got into quick strike mode, got themselves 3 touchdowns relatively quickly. And then Rockbridge came back in the second quarter with a single score to set up what looks like a pretty good second half.
Yep, and Columbia Rockbridge is going to come out, and they're going to be on offense first, and we're probably going to get a ton more of Matt.
I would think so.
And
Mark Files has had his hands full all game, so we have no halftime stats for you. But
but again, though, Mark has been battling it here, guys. So
doing the best he can.
We're just probably going to be on the radio itself. Probably won't be able to see anything, so we'll try to do our best.
You mean audio only?
Audio. Excuse me. I tell you what, Mark, there's going to be a fight up here in the press box. Man.
Just throw me out the window. You'll really hurt your back if you try.
Well, I tell you what, my sciatica is killing me right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, like I said, there's some good points and bad points from this first half of action for the Titans. After a pretty slow start, they did make the adjustment and found themselves some quick hits. And then toward the second, they had all the 21 points in the first quarter, so the whole second quarter they were shut out. Now, part of that was a kind of a change in their approach with the 3-score lead. They were, more conservative, trying to get, they had worse field position, but they were also trying to really establish running plays so that they could keep the clock moving.
And I think the big thing, too, that you and I kind of talked about when we were off air is just, keep the foot on the throttle, get to those short passes, open up your long passes, and then throw a run play in every now and then.
Well, clearly after the 3 scores, Rockbridge did make some adjustments in terms of, trying to make sure that the wide receivers, they had some safety help over the top for them, played a little bit wider of a maybe a cover 2 zone or whatever they were doing.
Right.
I think they were really playing cover 2 man under.
I think that's what it was too.
Mostly, and so the thing about that, though, is that actually is a relatively good strategy to try and keep a team from doing the quick hits underneath, but also covering in case they do go up top to make sure you have that safety help.
Right. but it's going to be.
What's that quarterback readability test that they did give to the college quarterbacks coming out from the Ferris something?
Yeah.
I think we could both pass it.
I think we could.
Yeah. So anyway, so coming into this second quarter, like I said, I'm with you, and I'd like to see the Titans, not be satisfied with the lead they have,
right.
Even when it was 21-0. I mean, you're not looking to, blow a team out, but at the same time, like we said, we saw that once, Rockbridge was able to get a little momentum going offensively, they drove down, scored, and, now it's only a 2-score game, and that's not much of a difference.
It's not. And we've seen the last couple of weeks where the opposing teams that West has been playing have been able to battle back and put some points on the board in the second half. And I think the Titans need to continue, and I'm sure these guys are going to do it. I'm sure Sterling's in there thinking it right now that, we need to put more points on the board. And I'm sure Vinny's thinking about how he's going to scheme to stop the run.
To their credit, I'll give them one thing, too, which is one of the complaints we made, especially you, the first quarter and in the second half as well, was the amount of time the defense was having to spend on the field.
Right.
And one of the drawbacks of the quick-hitting offense, even when we did get those 3 touchdowns in a row, we were doing them with like 40 to 90-second drives.
And we're looking at a positive, but then for the offense, but then.
So I understand why they were so committed to getting that running game going, because the idea was to establish some long drives so that defense could stay off the field. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. It more backfired than anything else, because while they were able to maybe run a couple 3 minutes off the clock, in real time, the defense really stayed off the field roughly the same amount of time as they did in the various drives in which they scored quickly.
Right.
So, I don't know. We'll see what they do in this second half as far as counteracting that on both sides, but, I don't know, given a chance, if I'm the one good thing that we have is that, as the sun's now coming down and we're getting later, it's just going to get a little cooler out there. Hopefully the fatigue won't be as much of an issue.
Exactly. And with Columbia Rockbridge and their guys going both ways, that fatigue could really get them quick.
It could, although, like I said before, we came in here on a couple of occasions in the past where we were waiting for that to happen, and it never did.
Right.
We kept saying to ourselves, well, we've got a full platoon system, and this team is playing, 8-9 guys both ways. It's got to come back to bite them, and it never did. So,
You're right.
You got to eventually say that maybe you certainly can't rely on that. We'll put it that way.
Hey, we got some scores here, Joel.
Okay.
We've got Park Hill, Lee Summit North, 14-14. We got Rockers Hawklets, 28, Blue Springs South 0. Of course, the Titans here with Rockbridge, 21-7. Raymore Peculiar, 21, Belton 7. Here's one back in Lee Summit. Lee Summit Tigers, 17. Blue Springs Wildcats, 7.
Really?
Yes.
Boy, Blue Springs is
3
just
weeks in a row.
Yeah, I think that you've kind of found the formula with the Wildcats so far, and until they can overcome that.
Mark and I were talking about it on the drive here, is when's the last time that both Blue Springs schools are coming into with losing records now in week 4?
Right. I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe the year that Blue Springs South opened, just like Titans here.
Yeah.
I got another score here. Staley Falcons 26, Park Hill South 0.
That is of interest, of course, to Titans fans, since we are going to be taking on Staley next week at home.
St. Joe Citral Indians 27, Truman Patriots 7. William Crispin Bears 14, Raytown Blue Jays 34. Here's an interesting one at halftime. Fort Osage 6, North Kansas City 0.
Okay.
Close game.
Yeah. Those North Kansas City schools, whether it's Crispin or North KC or whatever, have just improved so much over the last, say, 8 years. Since, we used to go in there and it wasn't, even a contest. There are very few teams now that can go in there and they can just say, well, it's North Kansas City, it'll be a walk,
Got Oak Park Northmen 14, Ruskin Eagles 6. Got Grandview Bulldogs 22, Pleasant Hill 14. Kearney Bulldogs 35, Winnetonka 0. Platte County Pirates 17, Grain Valley 7. Smithville Warriors 35, Ray South Cardinals 0. The Spoof Hounds from Maryville 42, St. Pius 0. We've got Columbia Battle 45, Harrisonville Wildcats 33. There's another team that's struggling a little bit right now. It's the Harrisonville Wildcats.
But good job for Battle to come back. They had a pretty down week against this Rockbridge team last week.
Excelsior Springs Tigers 33, Richmond Spartans 20. The Oak Grove Panthers 26, East Bears 6. Warrensburg Tigers 20, Clinton Cardinals 0. Savannah 14, St. Joe Lafayette 0. St. Joe Benton 17, St. Joe LeBlanc 0. Chillicothe 6, Cameron 0. Oh, here's one that's Center Yellow Jackets 7, Van Horn 6. Good fought game there.
It's a barn burner.
Got Webb City 22, Branson Pirates 10.
Did you give the Ray Peck Belton score?
I did.
Okay, 21-7.
Uh-huh.
I'm always, I know we don't really talk a whole lot about Kansas scores, but I personally always look to see what the Lawrence and Free State scores are, because I work with those people that are doing the games in their week. And
what do you got there?
Gardner Edgerton is all over the Lions from Lawrence, 26-0. They are having a tough time with their new coach. This is going to be 0-3 for them. Now, Free State's a terrific team this year.
Okay, so let's go back to that now.
Yeah.
Brand new coach.
Yep.
Very familiar face to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
The coach that was there, I think, got out at the right time because there was nothing in the well.
Well, I think that's part of it, although I think that they have more talent than their record would indicate. Mm-hmm. You know, that it's a matter of learning to play for a new coach, learning a new scheme.
And he's got a passing scheme.
Yeah. So, but I do know that I'm going to have that my show comes on right after Hank Booth's show, and he's the one who does those games for Lawrence, so he's going to be in a sour mood on Monday, especially if KU ends up losing.
Might need taking in some donuts or something.
I had honey cake there. In fact, we brought. It was Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for this week. Monday and Tuesday were Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur's next Wednesday. And so, honey cake is that's the Jewish New Year. So It's for a sweet New Year honey cake. Brought it into work. That wasn't me. That was the Chabad House rabbi from KU who brought that in. He's a guest on my show on Fridays in Lawrence. Good guy, but
that's good stuff.
Yeah, you do what you can. All right, teams are back on the field. We're going to take a break. Come back with the second half in just a few minutes. 21-7 is our score with the Titans on top. But we'll see what kind of adjustments both teams made at halftime when we come back. Titan Football, a presentation of Backcourt Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Are you looking for a heartwarming and unique gift? Consider master storyteller David Lewis's Memories CD collection. Warm memories of the cold. 9 of David's best memories of sleds, snow, Grandpa on ice, 34 degrees below, skates, and Christmas. Hooves, paws, wings, and claws. 13 recollections of cats, horses, dogs, birds, a misguided vet, and a bobcat that stuck to the wall. Just folks. 13 memories of the Witch in the Woods and other captivating people, gone but not forgotten. And you had to be there. 14 heartwarming tales like Fantasy on the Porch, An Ox Out of His Box, A Foot Fetish Catfish, and more. Recollecting times, places, people, and events in David's life you simply have to hear for yourself. David's CDs are available online at memoriescds.com. You can hear audio clips at the website. That's memoriescds.com. Why not buy the gift that can be enjoyed over and over? David Lewis's Memories CD collection. A touch of the heartland for your family.
High school sports fans, check this out. 810varsity.com now brings live video game casts for more than 25 KC Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to the games live on your computer, iPad, or phone. Park Hill South, Miege, Aquinas, the Olathe and Blue Valley schools, and the list goes on and on. Plus, live scores, playoff brackets, rankings, and more. Get all the games live at 810varsity.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
The year was 1881, and young Reuben Baylor was making his way along near the Missouri River, finding work when he could and living the only life he knew. But when he come on old Arliss Height, beat to hell and near shot to death, Rube done what he could for him. He didn't know that act of kindness was going to wind up changing his whole life, but it did. Green as grass, Rube was a long way from being any kind of pistolier or shootist, but when Marshal Marion Daniels come on him and needed help with the Duncan bunch for what they'd done to Arliss, that tussle growed Rube up right quick. He stopped drifting, found friends worth looking up to, and a young woman that was right admirable.
Deer Run Trail by David Lewis. Available as an e-audiobook at audible.com.
Welcome back out to Rockbridge High School here in Columbia. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm as we're getting underway here for the second half of play. The Lee Summit West Titans, Rockbridge Bruins, 21-7 our score. And the Titans received in the first half, so the Bruins will get things going. Trailing 21-7, we'll see what kind of offense they come out with here as they take over 1st and 10 from their own 20 after the Wiley kickoff goes into the end zone. And Pete with a stutter step made one man miss. Hit hard from behind, but knocked forward all the way to about the 28, maybe 27. It'll be a 2nd and short. Bradley Myers gave him the lick, but not before he was able to gain quite a good first down gain. So good start for the Bruins here. We'll see if they can build on this. On the second down play, again, it's Pete. Found some room over left tackle, and he'll gain another 7 yards out to the 35. 1st and 10, and at least so far this is looking a lot like their one touchdown drive they had.
It sure is. I was just getting ready to make that comment, Joel. This looks like they're coming back with that same scheme of feeding the monster there.
Nathaniel Pete, which was what we were expecting coming in, as he'll get the call again. Weaves his way, broke a tackle, and finally knocked down. The only one drawback we can say about Pete is he has at times had a little trouble hanging on to the football.
He sure has.
But that was a gain of 9.
He's fumbled twice.
Kept one, lost one.
Right.
But there have been a couple times where he looked a little iffy with it anyway. But, like you said, he's a very patient runner, and he's been able to wait for holes to break open. And the Titans have done a bad job of tackling at times against him in this game. Here's Pete again on the left side. He was hit and knocked down this time at the 50-yard line, gain of 5.
And slow getting up. He took a shot to the head there.
There's a Titan player also slow getting up. That was Cahill. Somebody's going to have to talk at some point to Andrew a little bit about his tackling, because you remember he was flagged earlier for targeting in an earlier game. But, and I don't think that it's an intentional thing, is that will be a first down. What I'm saying is that he just needs to learn a better technique, or he's going to hurt himself, or somebody else for that matter.
Coaches saw that Pete also took a headshot there and brought him out of the game.
So Ryan will come in, play action, throw near side, wide receiver screen, and a good job for Cooper to take down Toe as he made the catch and able to pick up about 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
I thought the line played it very well right there, but
missed the tackle.
Yes, he did.
But we've seen that a lot in this game. early on, the Titans were doing very well tackling. They've gone to a 4-down approach here, and Minifield steps over, and that's going to be an offsides. Turn a 2nd and 8 into a 2nd and 3, and that's something you can't do as a Titan.
I know that frustrates Limbo Parks all to death there.
Well, and especially in a situation like that where, I mean, it was not like, he literally walked up to the line and stepped over. It wasn't like there was a hard count or something.
And I don't even know if he started his count.
No, he really hadn't. I think it was almost like he lost his balance and stepped forward. There's Pete on the left side looking for a hole. Gets one. He'll get the first down. Not a ton more as he gets to the 39 of the Titans. But it's a pickup of 4 and good for a first down. 1st and 10. Clock down to 9:36 as we play 2 minutes and 24 seconds here of this third quarter. Titans on top 21-7. But the Bruins are driving here in this opening drive of the third quarter. See if the Titans defense can stiffen up at all here. It's going to be an option and a toss to Pete. Wilson stepped up, caused him to stop, and then he was finished off on the play there, I believe, by Minifield. Yeah, it was.
So where do you think they're going to run the ball now? Not outside.
Yeah. They've had some success, but I think that their biggest success has been, how a lot of times we call them zone reads with quarterbacks. It's not even a zone read. He just hands it off and lets him read the play while he already has the ball in his hands. Back to throw. Sacco, he was able to get around the one man, and then a toss. It is caught. That'll be good for Pete. Coming across the field, and still on his feet as he gets down inside the 20. Hit and tackled. Cahill took him down at the 15. But I tell you what, once again there, as Bradley Myers had an opportunity to come after the quarterback and just whiffed.
Have a sack there.
And it'll set up a 1st and 10 for the Bruins at the Titan 15.
First down.
Well, talk about a difference in fates between the way that play could have gone and the way it did go.
Right, because the guy that was putting the heat on him was the guys who was covering Pete.
Jackson in the backfield after Pete gets it. Play action. Oh, hit and sack this time. That play just took too long to develop, and redeeming himself, Myers, as he came in with and he wrapped him up good.
And you know what?
Had some help too with Carswell.
Quarterback knew he was going to get hit.
Oh yeah.
Just buckled over.
Well, you remember earlier, of course, he got hurt, favoring his left knee, and it seemed like for a time there he was a little skittish. Don't know if that's going to happen more or not in this second half, as it will be second down about 16. Man in motion. It is the end around. And trying to get around the end. Good job of pursuit. Big hit.
Nice job.
At the very end of the play on the run there by Toe.
Number 9 carries the ball for the Bruins.
Did you catch who stepped up and made that? I never did get his number.
Loss on the play.
It'll be
I want to say it was Myers.
It could have been. It was a loss of about 5 back to the 24. He just kept stringing it out. And a good job by the Titan defense not to bite on anything. Down to 7:09 and counting here in this third quarter.
It was a great job by Cahill by bouncing him back inside. And as soon as he bounced back inside, Myers took him.
Third about 19. Pete back in the game. Probably in 4-down territory, I would think. On play action. Ajacek looked like a bit of a hold, but he's going to run it himself, and he was hitting tackle. Ball came loose, and Titans got it. Third time in the game, the Titans force a turnover and come up with it, as there was one interception and now a second fumble.
Cam Carswell comes up with a huge turnover.
Who was he the one who knocked it away or the one who recovered it?
No, he's the one who recovered it.
Yeah, who knocked it away, could you tell?
I couldn't tell. There was several Titans around him.
Yeah. So that kills a very good drive by the Bruins, at least so far, whereas the Titans will take over on their own 17. So not great field position, but still good to have the football. And it will be Marshall on the sweep to the right side, running room this time. And he is able to move it up to around the 25-yard line. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds. Actually, they say he stayed in bounds because they keep the clock running. Up near the 24. It'll be a pickup of about 7, maybe, 2nd and 3. Maybe.
Nice hard run right there.
But really the first time in a while where he actually had something to run behind. 5 down linemen. Cooper in motion. From a pistol, a toss. Sweep on the left side. Wilson, and he's hit. Bounced off one tackle, then he's hit again. But he's close to a first down. Needed to get to the 28.
I think he got it.
Looked like he did. See where they give him the forward progress to, but the chain gang ready to move, and now they're getting the word to go ahead and do it.
Well, I tell you what, it's happening more and more at all 3 levels. You hardly ever see the chain crew come out.
Yeah. Yeah, no measurements on close plays.
But the nice thing about that, it keeps the game going.
You know, they just check the television screen for the darker green area. Have you seen that, by the way?
Yeah, we've got that on right now, don't we?
Yeah. Sammy Cooper on the swing pass. It's technically a run because it was a backwards pass. And he will make it up to around the 32. And the Titans, for a change, able to move the ball with a little bit more determination, I guess, in this drive.
What? The defense is getting a break, getting some rest.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Why didn't you just say it?
Second down, about 6. Motion man is Marshall. Toss it out to him on the swing pass. It's and able to fall forward across the 40 to about the 41. Again, well good enough for a first down, pickup of about 9.
And I tell you what, right there, Joel, I didn't understand that. He had plenty of room to the sideline to get more yardage, but he chose to go back into the defender.
He likes hitting people.
Well, but you know what? Let's get some yards.
He got enough for a first down. Looks like they're going to stop for the water break now.
But you know what?
Which is odd. Normally they don't. They do that on a stoppage of play because this would normally be a clock running play.
Right.
I mean, they have to stop it to move the chains.
I wonder if that's what he's saying.
I don't know. Maybe he's recording into his little recorder. Well, if you'd gone over there and got him to come over for a halftime interview, we could have asked him stuff like that. We could go over there now.
Good.
I think the cord would reach. We got a wireless down in the car.
Excuse me, sir. What are you talking about?
You know, this is a shotgun mic we have here. Uses as a crowd mic.
Hey.
It's when he had his window open there.
That's true.
Could you imagine if we had turned it around there and just pointed it at him? So, are they going to run the clock now though after the water break? I'm just curious because if not, they're technically giving a team a timeout. Yeah, they are, which does not deserve. This should have been a running clock, but it's not. Back to throw Coble. He gets a rush throwing. He's got Cooper, but overthrew him. Heard some footsteps coming. Had to get rid of it maybe a little earlier than he maybe wanted to.
But Sammy was wide open.
But again, just to finish the thought, so on the play before their water break, it was a play in which the clock normally would have continued to run after they reset the sticks for the first down. But because of the fact they did this timeout, they're basically giving both teams an extra timeout that way, which doesn't seem like the proper thing to do. Cooper in motion on second down and 10. From the pistol, back to throw Coble. Looking, throwing. He's got a man. It's caught. Clemens coming across the middle. Across midfield. He's dragging tacklers as he gets down to the 35. Finally pulled down by Manuel. But not before he's able to move the chains and get well into Bruin territory at the 35.
Nice job by Sterling Edwards. It's the first time we've seen that route.
Looked like he was watching Chiefs replays. Of course, Tyreek could score on that play. Come on, Cade, you need to get those magic shoes, right? Give up the middle, Marshall. And some good power running this time as he gets across the 35 down to about the 33. Be a pickup of 4, 2nd and 6.
I like the way Sterling's calling the offense right now. He's got him guessing right now.
Clock is running, 4.5 minutes left to go, third quarter. Titans on top, 21-7 and driving. In Bruins territory. Now I think we may have gotten an offsides this time by Rockbridge for a change. And they apparently went to the Hampton Minifield School of defensive line play. Because again, with really no reason at all, they just sort of jumped across.
They did.
It wasn't even a jump; it was just more of a lean than anything else, or a loss of balance. Who knows? So second down and short, and a give to Marshall, looking off right tackle. He'll go around right tackle this time, and get close to a first down.
Big score back at Lee Summit North for their homecoming. Trojans just went up on top, 21-14.
First down.
And again, no measurement, so just move the chains. First and 10 Titans at the Bruin 26. And again, the ball was right at the first down marker. Didn't even hesitate.
You know what, and I'm wondering.
There's Marshall breaking a tackle up the middle. He's looking a lot like Pete on that run, didn't he?
I'm wondering if at Misha, they're telling the officials to treat it this way now.
If it's close, give them the first down.
To keep the game moving.
Yeah. And try and avoid measurements.
Right.
Now, is it not true that it used to be the case that if the coach asked for a measurement, he could always get one?
He could.
Yeah. I mean, that's, of course, when they don't call it a first down. There's Marshall. He's hit from behind. Oh, he tried to get off of it. Couldn't quite. Just had enough of the jersey.
Marshall.
As Drayton came up from the linebacker position, gave him the hit. He's actually going to lose a yard or so. Maybe back to the 20 and set up a third and about 3 from there.
Thought he was getting up slow. Well, looks like he's going off the field.
Yeah, it looks like he may be heading off and not in any big hurry. Well, they haven't actually put the play in motion yet, so they still have a full 25-second clock.
Titans, third down, 3 to go from the Bruin 19.
Why isn't the clock running after that?
It is.
Oh, now it is, but it wasn't for a couple of seconds.
Oh, because it was an injury.
Back to throw, Coble. Rolling right. He had some room, but he's going to throw, and in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Wide open on the play was Cooper. And he had it right in the bread basket and just dropped it.
And it looks like...
You're going to see Michael Wiley? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
There was a little movement. It looked like they were heading that direction, but now it looks like maybe they're just going to go for it here. It would be about a 37-yarder.
It looked like Marshall was jerking on his shoulder, so he might have popped that shoulder out again.
Could be. Didn't look like he was in a whole lot of pain, but
no, it didn't.
So it's going to be 4th down and 3, and on the snap, a throw, slant, caught Clemens, breaks a tackle, still on his feet toward the end zone, touchdown. Touchdown, Titans, Cade Clemens from 19 yards out. And the Titans go up 27-7 with the extra point to come.
Nice job, Sterling Edwards. Great job, buddy. Good calls.
This is a quick hitter on the slant pass right there. And it would have been good enough for a first down, but then Clemens' determination just took over. Wiley out for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 2:49 left to go here in the third quarter. The Titans get on the board for the first time since the first quarter, extending their lead back out to 21 points. They lead at 28-7. We'll be back with a kickoff coming up after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
When Lee Summit needs insurance, home, auto, or life, Wayne Birch of Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance has been there. Birch delivers a promise for the future and protection from the unknown, dedicated to making sure you have the right coverage to fit your individual needs. Call Wayne at 816-525-5012. That's 816-525-5012. Wayne Birch of Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, a proud supporter of Lee Summit area athletics.
Welcome back out to Columbia, Missouri. Wayne Sales Family Activity Field here at Rockbridge High School. Joel Becker along with Coach Royce Boehm as the Lee Summit West Titans on top of the Rockbridge Bruins, 28-7 our score. As that was a very well-engineered drive, just what the doctor ordered as far as the Titans are concerned.
It was chewing up the clock, on the ground, in the air, and like I said, it had Columbia Rockbridge double guessing themselves there.
Wiley's kick will go into the end zone for a touchback. Second time this half he was able to do that. 2:49 left to go. And it's good for the Titans in so many different ways. It keeps their defense off the field for about maybe 10, 12 minutes of real time.
Sure did.
It was roughly 8 minutes of clock time. And it also gets them on the scoreboard for the first time since the first quarter, which I think is really important.
That is important.
Extends their lead out to a 3-score 28-7 game. I think our buddy from Misha may be getting ready to leave. Think?
I think he is.
Or maybe he's just getting himself where he'll be able to talk to the officials. And there's a handoff, and again, met in the backfield. Good penetration that time. Pete unable to get anything going, and he'll be knocked back for a loss. And I believe that was Fredrickson coming up from the strong safety position to get in the way.
Carson Peck.
Peck was also in there.
Yeah, that was Carson Peck that led that one.
Okay. And we get some whistles. What do we got going on here? Equipment issue, it looks like, for one of the Titans. The aforementioned Mr. Peck, who is replaced for this play. Split backs from the shotgun. Ajacek, he'll keep it, able to avoid one rusher, roll into his right, and he'll head out of bounds. Able to gain back a yard or two, but he's still shy of the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down 11.
And once again, we're getting pressure off the edge, but it's almost like we're taking too narrow of an angle instead of taking it out wide and forcing that quarterback back into the pocket.
At least, again, in this week, we have had somebody, when that happens, somebody's been around to chase him down.
Right.
So he was able to maybe get a yard, but not in like 10 or 12. So 3rd down 11, empty backfield. Pete is in the slot on the right side. They've got trips on the left. Back to throwing that left side incomplete. He was looking for toe. And right through his hands. He looked like he went to the Los Angeles Chargers School of Catching Passes. If you remember from last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, there were a whole bunch of them right through the hands, weren't there?
There was.
And that one went right through his hands, too.
Heck, wasn't Travis Kelce involved in a couple of those, too?
He might have. But it was more. I was thinking more on the Chargers side. I think the Chiefs got kind of lucky in some of that game. Hamilton standing back at his own 6. He's able to field a bad snap, but a bad punt off the side of his foot's going to go out of bounds around the 40 of the Bruins. And so the Titans will take over in great field position, coming off of a good run. And again, you got to love that 3 and out because, again, it puts their defense right back on the field.
It does. It does. And you can tell that they're wearing them down right now, too.
So 1:54 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Titans on top, 28-7. Tell you what, it is a much happier bus ride home, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It sure is.
Coble out. 1st and 10 from the Bruin 40. And it'll be Marcion Marshall trying to stutter step his way up the middle, forcing his way forward. They call his end to forward progress as he gets to about the 38, but the initial contact was probably at the 41, and he dragged those players about 3 yards.
And you could tell that was a delayed handoff there, too. So Coble was
Jalen Logan Ready on the tackle.
thinking about possibly keeping that too.
Bus ride back from Columbia is not nearly as bad as those bus rides coming back from the southwest Springfield area, like Camdenton and places like that.
Yeah, you're right. All the hilly roads.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking about the outcome after.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for that reminder.
Little Statue of Liberty play, Marshall, and he was upended as he got to around the 37. Yeah, who was the coach then?
Oh, I don't know his name. Dadgum him.
He ended up in the Hall of Fame.
I don't know. Got another update from Lee Summit North.
Okay, Broncos.
Park Hill 24, Broncos 14 on a homecoming night for the Broncos.
Ugh.
So kind of having a big win last week against the Blue Springs Wildcats. How did they bounce back?
Now, Park Hill seems to have corrected some of the problems that they've had in the earlier part of the season.
We also made the statement, too, is we don't want to play them later on.
Yeah, we talked about that we knew they would. Ooh, lost football. The ball's on the ground, and it's still loose. And finally, it's picked up by the Bruins. They're going to take over on about their own 49.
Ben Coble,
they just dropped the football.
I understand that, and then he stopped going after the football.
Well, he grabbed it, and then it looked like, I don't know how it, I don't know if it got slapped out of his hand or what.
It did get slapped out. He dropped it first, slapped out.
And then that was it.
Back,
yeah.
And then he just quit on it.
Yeah. Well, I think he figured that the Bruins were going to get it, but it turned out that they didn't, at least not cleanly to start with. So Hajusek and company out with 22 seconds left to go in the quarter. First turnover. Well, I can't remember how many turnovers we had all year.
Oh.
We've had a one or two.
A couple interceptions.
Yeah. Here's Pete coming around the outside, and he's knocked out of bounds by Grauberger. Nice little shoulder-to-shoulder hit as he got to the 45. Be a pickup of 6, second down and 4. Stops the clock with 16.2 seconds left to go in the quarter. Pete will get the carry again on the left side, cutting up the field. He was hit and then stopped. As a good job by the Titans just of pursuing, running to the football and not allowing. And you know, like I said before, the biggest thing with Pete was not really so much as that's going to do it for the quarter, is not so much his being able to like break him out into the open, or he's not like a burner like Brooks was.
Right.
But it was the inability of the Titans at times to tackle him. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. Come back for quarter number 4. 12 minutes of football left to go. Titans on top, 28-7. Here on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
810 Varsity takes you through the football season like never before. Watch games live throughout Kansas and Missouri, and even postseason action at 810varsity.com. Plus live tournament brackets, top 25, Elite 81 All-Metro team, live scoreboard, stories, and more. Check out Kansas City's new home for high school sports coverage, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Rockbridge High School here in Columbia. Wayne Sales Family Activity Field. Joel Becker, Royce Boehm. Third down and short. And the give to Pete. Oh, he was hit right about the line. Grauberger stepped up, and I think he's going to be short.
Yep.
Yeah. Good job, Jake Grauberger, to step up and hit him low so that he couldn't go. So anyway, to finish that thought I was talking about before, that has been the difference when they've been successful and not successful, is simply their ability to actually hit and tackle him or not.
Right.
Fourth and short.
And if you notice, too, much better with swarming to the football.
Yeah.
It's not one tackler. There's many on the tackle.
Pete comes out for this 4th down and 1 play. Jackson is in, and it is a give to Jackson, trying to get around the end. He's hitting the backfield, still on his feet, though, trying to reverse field, and he's taken down for a big loss, and the Titans will take over on downs all the way back at the Bruin 49.
Jerome Grace.
Boy, interesting choice there for Pete to come out for that 4th and 1 play.
Yes.
And that's when you really need him. I mean, I understand he's probably tired and everything, but I don't know. If I'm the Bruins, I almost would want to call a timeout there.
I would have too.
And, as opposed to, I mean, when you're talking about, not that, Jackson is so much of a fall off that he's, unable, but you want your best guys out there when that was probably almost a do or die type of situation here.
Hey, Joel, I feel it right here. Big strike right here.
We'll see what happens. Sterling has had his share of trick plays today that have worked at times, and they've gone deep, and they're going to go deep again down the near sideline. Clemens, and it's incomplete. Well, they tried.
They did.
Took a shot. Good coverage.
For number 14, Cade Clemens.
The one good thing you know when you're Sterling Edwards, when you throw a play like that, is Cade is so good that even in that sort of a situation where the defender had a pretty good shot at the ball, that Cade was going to break it up before he would allow an interception. 2nd and 10. Just underway, 4th quarter. Titans on top 28-7 on the road in Rockbridge. We'll see if they run it here on the 2nd down play. And it will be a give to that's Max Payne up the middle. Pickup of 2. And it'll set up a 3rd down and 8.
Cade Goodall carries the ball for the Titans.
PA guy identified him as Cade Goodall. Not if he knew Max.
No.
Cade is like, about a 1.5 feet taller than he is?
Absolutely.
So it looks like the Titans are going to go for it here on 3rd down and 8. Coming out with twins on either side in the pistol formation. Again, Payne in the backfield. And back to throw, Coble. He'll throw near side, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted. And again, exactly what I was talking about.
Yes, you nailed it right there. The ball was in his hand.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Caden stripped him.
In fact, he had 2 hands on it. That was Sanders over there who came in, jumped the route, and had both hands on it. And Cade just stuck his hands in and separated his arms and made him drop it.
Did a great job.
So now it's a punting situation, and the aforementioned Mr. Clemens will drop back to about the 35 to punt it away. Good snap and a pretty good kick.
Very good. Very good.
And takes a good tight bounce.
Yeah.
Did it end up going into the end zone?
Yeah, because he ran into the end zone.
I was going to say,
On about the 3-yard line, where the Bruins take over.
Well, the officials are talking about it. They may.
It's where he touched it.
Clemens kick.
The PA guy said it was down at the 3. Now they're still having a discussion
because he ran it into the end zone.
Right, but I don't know. I don't know how it works in high school in terms of if. They're standing at about the 3-yard line, the officials, as they discuss this. Can we talk to the Misha guy? He's gone.
He's gone now.
Looks like they are going to mark it down where he downed it. It's actually closer to the 2.
The ball was possessed at the 2-yard line by the kicking team. The kicking team cannot advance a kick, therefore it is dead at the 2-yard line, 1st and 10, Rockbridge.
So there you go. I'm not sure if that's the right call or not, but who cares? It works well for us.
Sounded good.
Yeah.
And they got the ball on the 1.
Yeah, it's closer to the 2.
Is it?
Yeah. And now we get whistles.
Officials aren't in place.
Yeah.
He's trying to explain himself.
Well, and he hadn't actually put the ball in play yet. The 25-second clock wasn't running, nothing. Now they get it going. 10-12 left to go in regulation time. Pete on play action. They toss it in the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Well, that's a scary play right
there.
Yeah.
Well, and the scary part was whether he was throwing it forward or not. Although, again, Toe was, Nivens, who was the intended receiver, did do a good job of picking it up on the bounce just in case.
He did.
and did go forward with it. 2nd down and 10 again from their own 2. And back to throw. Hajicek with time. Now he'll roll out. He will get across the goal line and then slide down as he got to about the 5. Grauberger ran into him. This is going back to what we talked about a little bit before. There was a little bit of groaning from the crowd after he was hit after the slide. But the truth of the matter is, again, a slide doesn't protect you in high school the way it does in the NFL.
No, it doesn't.
Now, having said that, just because the guy slides doesn't mean you have a free range to come up and pop him either.
He's down right there.
Right, he's down wherever he slides, But since Grauberger's momentum took him into him, it was a perfectly legal play. 3rd down and long, Hajicek, and he's hit and taken down in the backfield. It'll be a sack. Back inside the 5.
Now's a great time to come with the pressure because, again, the snapper hasn't been consistent here.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be a short snap, as you mentioned. He can't go all the way back 15 yards. He's standing in the back of the end zone. I think they should fake it. They do not come after him, really.
Nope. But
not much of a kick. And it is taken. Cooper going to the left side, ran into his own blocker, still on his feet, trying to reverse field. Comes up to the 20 and hitting tackle just inside the 20-yard line.
That looked like a little bit of Phillip Brooks coming back.
A little bit. At least it didn't cost him.
Cooper returning the punt.
So, works out pretty well. That's the reason why you don't really need to go after him.
And we got a flag back here.
See what the call is.
It looks like back at the line of scrimmage.
You were counting before. Did they have?
I was counting Titans since they ran one late.
Yeah.
I think it's against Rockbridge.
Holding gets the kicking team before the ball was kicked. That penalty is declined. The result is a first down.
All right, so during the before the ball actually was kicked during the snap, between the time of the snap and the time he kicked the ball, there was holding.
Right.
Which, may have been an indication that maybe the Titans were going after the ball a little more than we originally thought, or at least would have gotten closer to it. Now, it's not like they sent in a big...
Titans take over.
I don't know what Rockbridge coach is throwing a fit about, but I don't think he has anything to argue about because that penalty occurred before the punt.
So Titans take over. It is 1st and 10 at the Bruin, about 19 or so. Coble in the pistol.
Big strike. There he is, wide open.
Question is, can he get the ball away? He's still on his feet. He needs to get rid of the football, but he never does. Finally taken down way back at the 43-yard line. There'll be a loss of 23 on the play. And set up a 2nd down and 34. I don't know exactly what was going through Ben Coble's head there.
I have no idea.
I mean, that's the sort of thing where, in a worst-case scenario, you throw it at the foot of a running back that's standing next to you or something. You certainly don't take a 23-yard loss. 2nd down and a ton. From the pistol with Carswell, the H-back, and it'll be a delayed give. Wilson right up the middle. He was hit as he got to the 40. Pickup of about 3, maybe. And so that sets up a much more makeable 3rd down and 30.
Yeah.
Instead of 2nd and 34.
Gets him a little closer.
Tackled by number 8, Will Norris. 3rd down.
Well, that's really unfortunate. The Titans in a position there, 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line to really put the game away. Not that it isn't in pretty good.
First time we're seeing Sammy. And eat the clock up.
So, as you mentioned, Sam Cooper taking this snap. And on the option, he will toss it to Max Payne. With some speed on the left side. Stays in bounds, now finally knocked out as he got to around the 25.
Oh.
And there's a flag, as I guess he was hit as he went out of bounds. Looks like probably a late hit call. They mark him out of bounds at the 29, which means if they gave him 15 yards, it should set up a third down and about, 6 or so. Because you don't get the automatic first down like you do in the NFL on the personal foul.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds against the defense. 15 yards, half the distance onto the end of the play. First down.
Well, they do call it a first down.
Half the distance.
Yeah. Well, it's 15 yards from the 29, so you can't really take 15. Right. It's actually 14 and a half.
First down's huge.
Well, that's what he said, but the chain gang isn't moving. I think he may have actually announced that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's still third down. Well, the chain gang seems to think it's third down.
The 15-yard penalty for a late hit does not carry an automatic first down. It's a dead ball foul, therefore the down counts.
Joel, go put the white hat on.
So that should make it fourth down, actually. It is fourth down. Well, why aren't they kicking a field goal?
I don't know.
It's going to be about a 31-yarder from here, 32-yarder. It's fourth down and about 6, maybe 5 or 6. As a direct snap and trying to go end around and not going to get there. Cooper.
Sammy Cooper, the ball carrier.
And so the Titans will turn it over on downs. I realize they are up by 21 and there's half a quarter left to go. And maybe that's why they didn't kick the field goal, I guess. But
Bruins take over on downs.
I don't know. I would have kicked the field goal.
I would have too.
$11 menu and more. Pick up from a bacon McDouble, chicken McNuggets, McChicken or more at McDonald's of Columbia.
We need to start keeping track of what you and I would have done compared to what they have.
I know. Tell you what, this was a packed house on the Columbia Rockbridge side, and they're dwindling out of here now.
Trying to beat the traffic?
Yeah. It's tough parking around here.
It'll be easier for us to leave at the end, right?
That's right.
Ajacek, back to throw. Getting a rush. Looks like a bit of a hold on Carswell. He'll rush toward the sideline. Forced out of bounds as he got near the 20. 22. Looks like they're going to mark him at the 23, in fact. Maybe a yard shy of a first down. Pickup of 9, 2nd and 1. And it does stop the clock with 6:46 left to go. So on the 2nd and short play, Ajacek will throw over the middle. It was caught, and they do say that his knee was down when he caught it, as that pass was intended for and caught by Toe, or Tau apparently is how he pronounced his name, T-O-W-E. If you saw T-O-W-E, wouldn't you think it was Toe?
I would think it was Toe.
I guess... who's the How that was got another offsides it looked like on the Titans.
It's like Carswell.
Offsides against the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
6:29 left to go. 1st and 5 now after the penalty.
Result penalty. 1st and 5 at the 30.
Pete is in the game, and they haven't given it to him too much as they give it to Tau again. Trying the end around, pickup of about 4. It'll set up a 2nd and 1.
Number 9, the ball carrier, brought down by number 30, Nathan Lyon.
6 minutes and counting.
Brings up 2nd and short.
Did you ever, when you were coaching, take into account things like commits by some of your players? If a game were to, luckily in your case you didn't have a whole lot of games where you're down 3 touchdowns, in the 4th quarter or whatever. But as play action toward Pete, and Ajacek will roll near side throwing. It is caught by Manuel. He'll get a first down up to the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 there. But anyway, to finish the question was, so if you had a guy and you knew he was, a D1 commit or something like that, would you be, inclined to back off on giving him as many touches in a game that you maybe are conceding to a degree?
Well, and I tell you what, with 5 minutes and 32 seconds, yes, I would. I would most definitely put the ball into the number 2 running back.
Right. I mean, he's still in the game, Pete.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
But
but
they haven't given him any touches.
No, they haven't.
In the last, certainly not in this series. And we've got
Personal foul on the defense. Illegal hands to the face. That's a 15-yard penalty tacked on to the end of the run. First down.
As you could hear, a personal foul. Illegal hands to the face.
So it had to be on the front interior. Well, I wish we could get numbers.
Yeah, they don't do that in high school usually, or even in college for that matter. I guess till you're getting paid, they don't single you out. Now there's a give to Pete there, and he was swarmed under.
Pete, the ball carrier.
A loss of a yard.
Loss of 2 on the
I remember years ago
Jake Gruberger on the
when we
tackle.
played Grandview, and Josh Freeman was their was their quarterback. You remember that game?
Yeah, and who was the head coach too? It was his dad.
And he was on his way out.
Yes, he was. And had him come out and play defensive end. And
Pass intended.
but by the time the Titans were, that was we were still Class 4 in those days, and so was Grandview. But by the time that game had gotten to the point in maybe the third quarter where it wasn't really all that close, Freeman was still in the game, but you could tell, although he did look like a man amongst boys in that game,
he did.
He still had no interest at all in touching the football or getting anybody anywhere near him.
No, not at all.
Can't say as I blame him. Manuel with the catch there, up to the 30-yard line. Hit and tackled. It should be good enough for a first down. And they're going to move the chains.
Andrew Cahill and Shane Fredrickson defending on the play. First down.
Where did he go, Nebraska?
No, went to K-State.
K-State, that's right.
Yep.
I knew that.
And then was a first-round pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right. But, yeah, I remember that, you could just tell he hadn't, Here's Hajasek on the keeper and then taken down, hit at the very end there by Force. Kind of coming over the back.
Nice job by Cam Carswell there.
Yep. We'll pick up of 2 or 3, and we get a whole flag. I wonder if they're calling that hit from Force. It's way back in the backfield, though, so it could be a hold.
And the way the Rockbridge is moving.
Spot of the foul, too, which is way back at the 37, 36.
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul.
Boy, that's a drive killer.
It is.
That turns, they're going to be first and 26, looks like, after that penalty.
The penalty is first down and 26.
Clock stopped with 4:24 left to go, as looks like they're going to do their water break now. At least this time the clock was stopped when it happened. So, yeah, it's I certainly wouldn't blame a coach and wouldn't blame a player. I would think that there probably would even be time. It would depend on the player. Like I said, in Freeman's case, it was like he was phoning in his senior year, wanting to just get to K-State and get on with his pro career. But on in other cases with other players, it might even be, a coach that was doing what he could to kind of rein in a player so he didn't put himself in harm's way. That he, sort of reminding him that he had more to play for.
No doubt. I tell you what, Mark Files.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock him out. He just comes in here. He got up. His wife asked him to bake some cookies today because she had a little special event going on. So he made a few extra. And he goes, we're going to eat all these tonight. Well, guess what? He's not eating any because he's on his little no-sugar diet. So he expects who? You and me to eat them.
What boy?
I tell you
what a horse's.
I tell you what, they're damn good.
I like this guy. I didn't have one yet.
Oh, they're damn good.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll have to get a doggy bag going.
Heck yes. Got Rockhurst 35, Blue Springs South 0. So the running clock's going on there.
Yep. Hajicek, after he's being chased by Carswell, gets around, throws over the middle. It looked like it skipped in, and yeah, they are saying incomplete. Boy, the receiver there, which was Manuel, the other Manuel.
Right.
Martez. It's Marcus and Martez. And that was Martez, and boy, he was upset, but he made a good catch. I just think it skipped in there. It wasn't anything he could have done.
Bruins, second down, 26. From the
Second and 26 now. Titans showing blitz. Here they come. And Hajicek was able to avoid it, and again, incomplete. Good job, Fredrickson, to break that one up.
Nice job there.
As it was intended for Nivens,
Shane Fredrickson, number 1, depending on the play.
whom they used a lot more early in this game, and he was relatively effective, if you remember, in the first quarter a couple times.
I tell you what, Vinny Carswell did a good job because he was playing Shane at linebacker during the summer, and then decided to move him to safety.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, with him moving to safety, he's a headhunter out there. He's doing a great job.
So third down and a ton. Hajicek, and he'll throw near side. Manuel makes the catch.
Tackle.
Broke one tackle, broke a second tackle. Coming across the field, though, never really could get any extra yards. He broke a bunch of tackles, but it didn't really gain him anything. And it'll set up a fourth down and about 15 from the 36-yard line.
Number 6, Jerome Grace on the tackle.
Clock running with 3:45 left to go in regulation
Fourth
time.
down and 15 from the Titans, 35.
So they'll go for it here. Hajicek back to throw. He'll step up, throw on the far side, and it's incomplete. And the Titans will take over on downs. I understand what he was trying to do there, but I don't think that was going to get him a first down regardless if it worked or not.
Hey, he was just trying to get some yards.
So the Titans take over.
43 TC.
3:20 left to go in regulation time, and Lee Summit West on top 28-7.
That's 43 TC. Focus on your technology.
Score back at Lee Summit High School Tigers, 17-14 over Blue Springs.
Sponsor of the Columbia Public Schools.
Titans still mostly with their ones in here, just in case you were wondering, with 3:20 left to go in regulation time. Payne is the pistol back, and he'll get the call on first down with some running room. Cuts up inside off right tackle, got up to the 40. Tell you what, there was a little helmet-to-helmet contact at the very end of that play. No flag,
On the run.
as the safety Trey Manuel. So there's a third Manuel out there, by the way. And I don't think it was, like I said, it wasn't like a target where he was, but he just leaned his head down and they bumped helmets, and that's these days against the rules.
Just got a score update. Thanks, Tyler from Springfield.
Okay.
Blue Springs 21-17 over Lee Summit.
Coming back.
Thanks, Tyler.
Here's Payne again on second down and 5 with some
hard
good
running.
Yeah, strong running up the middle, and he's going to will his way across to a first down. Tyler who?
Tyler Bain down at Missouri State.
Out of Springfield.
Out of Springfield. You know what? Being a college student, and college students want something, and the parents say, no, you can't have it, or don't get it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he went out and bought a dog.
He bought one?
Bought one.
Wasn't a rescue or anything?
No, golden retriever.
Oh.
Winston.
Okay. First and 10 Titans from the 46, and it's Payne again up the middle. Still on his feet, and again, hard running.
Hard.
Up to midfield, it'll be a pickup of 4.
But that's one thing his mom and I told him.
Yeah?
We're not going to help you with any vet bills.
Well.
Anything like that.
Now, come on. If this is a sick dog, you're going to really turn your back on this poor sick dog.
Joel, he's listening.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to answer that.
As far as you know.
Titans
Now, one thing you aren't going to do is clean up after him. You can safely say that.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't driving down to Springfield. I got my first dog when I was in my senior year, which was my third year of college. I finally moved to an apartment in New Orleans for the first time. And oddly enough, got a dog. It was a rescue, mixed breed, an Australian Shepherd Beagle mix from Kenner, Louisiana. As Payne, hitting the backfield this time, couldn't get out of it. Lost about 3. It'll be third down as the clock running down to a minute left to go in this one. Kenner was just recently in the news because the mayor of Kenner put out a memo saying that the city was no longer going to buy Nike products after the whole Kaepernick deal, and then had to rescind it because there was outrage about whether or not he's constitutionally allowed to do that, to ban Nike from his city.
I tell you what, I'm dealing with some coaches right now that they used to be Nike, and they don't want to go with Nike anymore.
Looks like the Titans are going to go victory at this point on the third down play. And they'll take a knee. And that should be the last play unless Rockbridge decides they want to call a timeout and finish it. Clock running down to 17 seconds left to go. And so that's going to do it. The Lee Summit West Titans, an impressive business trip, as you like to call it.
Joel,
here
I'm
in
going to
Columbia.
tell you couldn't have said it better. That was impressive, especially after everything we've heard about Columbia Rockbridge, which absolutely is true. The big, physical, 6 Division I athletes on this team, and again, Coach Carswell and his staff, they took this one on their shoulder and took it personal.
Yep, and came away with the win. Take a break, come back with post-game. I don't know how many numbers we'll have for you, but we'll give you whatever we can, and player of the game, and look ahead toward next week, all coming up after this on Titan Football, a presentation of Backport Sports, Beck Bros Productions, and 810varsity.com.
Whether it's a car accident, storm damage, or a fire, when the unthinkable happens, it doesn't matter if you saved money in 15 minutes. In this moment, it doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance you do. In this moment, what matters is that your independent insurance agent and the company that stands behind them have you covered. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit Briar Payne Mead Insurance in Kansas City today at bpminsurance.com or call 913-402-9576. That's 913-402-9576 and ask about Auto Owners Insurance today.
Oh, shoot. What's the matter, Pop? Your mother's off at Taekwondo practice, and she says she wants me to find a hobby by this summer.
Well, why not play baseball, Dad?
Softball? I don't want to play softball.
Not softball, Dad. Baseball.
I don't even like softball,
Dad,
son, the way they
Dad,
just toss the ball in there.
Dad.
You know, I used to be a catcher.
Dad.
Softball, I just feel like a backstop.
Dad.
What?
I'm not talking about softball. I'm talking about baseball, Dad. You know, hardball.
Really? They have baseball for people my age?
Sure, Pop. The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League.
Well, now, I'm no spring chicken anymore, son. I don't want to play with all you young teenagers, you know.
I'm 35, Pop.
You are?
They have leagues for people both our ages. They have 18 and over, 28 and over, even 38 and over leagues.
I wonder if I still have my old mitt.
The Kansas City Men's Senior Baseball League, 913-649-2942.
I think your mother used it while training those tigers.
Call them. They'll get you all signed up. 913-649-2942.
649-2942. Good. As soon as your mother gets home from bungee jumping, I'll tell her.
Oh, great, Pop. She'll be so happy.
Oh.
What?
Well, when she gets happy, she might take it out on me.
Oh, Dad.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Welcome back out to Columbia, Rockbridge High School. Here at the Wayne Sales Family Activity Field, Joel Becker and the Hall of Famer Royce Boehm, the coach, as the Lee Summit West Titans defeat the Rockbridge Bruins 28-7, the final score. Titans, and this is an interesting recap as far as, and I don't know, do we really have any numbers to bother telling anybody about, Mark? We can give you some second half numbers. That'll be coming up in just a second. But just a quick little sort of recap of how the game went. The first roughly half a dozen or so drives went nowhere for either team. They had a turnover by the Bruins. The Titans went 3 and out a couple times. There's a bunch of punts, and then at the very end of the first quarter, about the second half, or the last third or so of the first quarter, the Titans struck like 3 times quickly, all on relatively long passes, or in fact, not that long passes, but catches and then runs after the catch,
right,
to build up a 21-0 lead, where they went to the end of the quarter with that lead. Then Rockbridge had a nice run on in the second quarter, a nice drive, ended in a touchdown, 21-7. That's how we get into the first half. And then Lee Summit West came out with a very determined drive to start off the second half. After they got the ball back, Rockbridge started, and they got the ball back after a punt, drove down and scored a touchdown to make it 28-7, and then that's the way the game ended. But I don't know, the Titans basically since the end of the first quarter were in control of the game.
They were. And I tell you what, this is the time that I wish we had Jeff Driscoll, because Vinny Carswell had been over talking with Chad Herzog, the principal at Lee Summit West, and Coach Carswell came to the huddle and said something to the team, and the team exploded. So it's one of those, you might want to give Jeff a call.
Probably told them they were going to stop in Boonville on the way home.
Hey, yeah. Very good.
So we got those. We're going to bother with the second half numbers here, Mark.
I tell you, we got a little second half numbers.
Yep.
All right, total offense. For
when we give the iPad to Bill Warner when he was here, you had no idea what to do with it.
Total offense, but this is just one half, right? This is second half.
Yeah, these are only second half numbers. Mark was busy in the first half.
He wasn't mad at all. Tom, stop texting him. Leave him alone. Lee Summit West, total offense, 125 yards in the second half. Columbia Rockbridge, 157. Passing, 103. Lee Summit West, 94. Rockbridge. Rushing yards in the second half. Lee Summit West, 22. Columbia Rockbridge, 63. Receiving, once again, 103 to 94. This is another nice one. Yards per catch for the game in the second half was 20.6 yards to Columbia Rockbridge's 10.4. Penalties in the second half, 4 for 30 for Lee Summit West, 3 for 30 for Columbia Rockbridge. Turnovers, this is a big one. 1 for Lee Summit West and 3 for Columbia Rockbridge. That was big. Where are we going now? Had 2 sacks for Lee Summit West in the second half. Had 1 sack for Rockbridge. And I got a score update from back at Lee Summit High School. Lee Summit went up top, 24-21 right now.
Okay. Some of those other scores, Ray-Pec on top of Belton, 42-14. That's a final. As you mentioned, so 1:12 left to go in the fourth quarter, 23-21 Tigers over the Wildcats. Let's see. Warrensburg 62-0 over Clinton. Also have Chillicothe 28-0 over Cameron. That's a third quarter score. The Warrensburg score is a final. Battle, Harrisonville 66-39 is the score there. And that's late in the fourth. Excelsior Springs beating Richmond 63-28 in the fourth there.
Still got it.
Park Hill 24-14 over North.
24-14 Park Hill over North right now. Do we know how much time's left in that one? Late in the fourth quarter.
Final in Lawrence, Gardner Edgerton beats the Lions 33-13, so Hank Booth will be disappointed on Monday, especially if KU then loses.
Well, then
yeah, he'll be disappointed.
What was those cakes?
49-13, Kearney over Winnetonka. That's a final as well.
Got a final. Park Hill 24, Lee Summit North 14. Final.
62-0, Lawrence Free State over Shawnee Mission North. They're going to be a good team this year. They are a good team this year.
They are.
Let's see. Yeah, Liberty North and Liberty. This was a big game today. Last score I've got is 21-17 for North in the fourth quarter.
Here's a surprising one from down south. Webb City 22, Branson 20, final.
Fort O still 6-0 over North Kansas City in the third. Let's see, you mentioned the Park Hill score and Lee Summit North already. Rockers 35-0 over Blue Springs South. That's a final.
Got 28 seconds left in the Blue Springs Lee Summit game.
Whew. Sedalia Smith Cotton 40-26 over Columbia Hickman. Remember when those were teams we had to play?
Uh-huh.
Let's see. St. Joe Central 41-7 over Truman. That's late in the fourth. St. Joe Lafayette losing to Savannah 48-21 in the third. St. Joe Benton over St. Joe LeBlanc 39-14. That's late in the fourth. Staley 40-0 over Park Hill South. That's our opponent next week. Staley is. That's a third quarter score. So, got any thoughts on player of the game? 42-21, Raytown over William Chrisman, third quarter score there.
Well, my first would be to come out and say possibly Ben Coble, but didn't like some of the decisions that Ben made on the heavy pressure.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with your receivers.
I think you can make a pretty good case for Cade Clemens this week.
Yep.
Both playing as a receiver and playing as a defensive back.
And Sammy doing the same thing.
Yeah. No, I meant when he was playing as a defensive back while he was a receiver. I'm just kidding.
That's true. That's very true.
He did do that.
He did.
Yeah. So
I think I'm with you, Cade Clemens.
Cade Clemens for this week. And then, like I said, Staley next week. It's, the funny thing is that it's always difficult when you're talking about playing a non-conference, non-class opponent. There's so little to be gained from it for a team like Lee Summit West. Staley has so much more to gain out of it than the Titans do. Now, that's not to say that because of the history of the two teams that it isn't going to be. There certainly will be plenty of motivation to try and win the game.
That's what it is. There's a pride factor there. There's a history with Staley, and that's why it's going to be a big game. And I guarantee and I know that Coach Carswell and his staff will be ready to play.
So 146 points over under. 76-70 in 4 overtimes.
No doubt. I don't think we'll see that.
No.
For a long time.
Although I tell you what the scores I'm seeing, if there are any two teams that could this year, that would be a situation where I think both teams could conceivably rack up a bunch of points in that game. If the Titans are on offensively, but if Staley is also on offensively, then we could see ourselves in a big shootout. Like I said, they scored 40 points. We scored 28 against a pretty good Columbia team, Rockbridge team. It could be I don't know. You never really know what's going to happen in a Staley Lee Summit West game, and where it's played.
The good thing. That's the plus. I think being at home, that's an advantage. Well, home field advantage, because Staley's never beat us there at home. So,
once there.
It was
a Saturday game.
On ESPN.
A game that would never end.
No doubt.
It was like a 5-hour game on Saturday afternoon.
That's right.
Weekend.
We had the game that never ended in the playoffs.
That just ended the wrong way.
Yeah. So, all right, well, that'll be next weekend. As you mentioned, it's home on Friday night at Lee Summit West, Titans Stadium. The Titans and Staley. And I don't know, can we see their uniforms any better now than we could a few years ago?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Should be fun.
So. It's going to be those dark numbers again.
Sure, we'll just wait to hear that we're going to be back in the press box. Somebody's going to come to do that game. And so, not only can we not see the numbers, we're going to be looking at it from halfway across. We'll see.
Very true.
Well, if you can't come out and support the team live in person, you can certainly join us on 810varsity.com and also lswradio.com. We'll have all the action again, 7 o'clock, the kickoff for next week on Friday, the Titans and Staley. Here, our final score, it was the Titans 28-7 winners over Columbia Rockbridge from Wayne Sales Family Activity Field. For Mark Files and Coach Royce Bame, Joel Becker saying good night from Columbia.
And the kid.